Coming up on the Manspace podcast is part 2 of our conversation with Dr. Jeffrey Scales, esteemed dermatologist. But before we get to him, I'm going to play some classic footage from season 2 of the Manspace podcast, where Les and I were having a conversation. Now, this footage has never been seen on air. So for those that are watching on Onstage Plus, BXTV, or even on the Manspace YouTube channel, enjoy.
Live from a Zoom call somewhere in the Carolinas, it's Russ, it's Les, it's the Manspace podcast. Take it away, fellas.
Thank you, voice girl. Thank you. And welcome to the Manspace podcast. And I am Russ. And with me, as always, is the one and only Big Les.
What's up? What's up, my peoples?
What's up, my brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, man, just chilling, brother. You know, chilling like a villain out here, man. Trying to stay hydrated.
Speaking of staying hydrated, and you set me up perfectly for this one. So, you are a person of melanin.
Yes.
I am a person of melanin as well, but I'm not as melanated as you are.
That's right. That's right. The sun didn't miss no days baking me.
Yeah. But have you ever had to deal with sunburn?
No.
I never thought it would happen to a person of color.
Right. I'm gonna let you go into yours because I got a little short story about that one too.
I went out one day last week before, and all I did was go cut the grass. I didn't even cut the whole yard. I cut the front and a little sliver in the back.
Right.
It was just the parts where I fertilized, where the grass was high. Didn't do the whole thing. Did a little edging. Was outside not even a whole hour. My neck just started like itching, like really bad.
No.
I'm sitting there thinking I had a rash or something. Like,
old dirty neck joker.
Right. Because when I go out and cut grass, I have one of those little bucket hats I throw on my head. Living in the South is rough, in the summer.
It can be, sir. Yes.
When that sun is beaming, and this was probably like 9:00 in the morning when I went out there and cut.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't do the whole thing, wasn't even out there a full hour, did my piece, came back in, probably by that night, my neck was itching. It was all red up the side and around the back of my neck. And I'm like, what did I do differently? I'm not relating it to sunburn.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't call me and tell me that this was happening. We would have had a whole nother conversation.
I'm looking at, I switched up my shower gel and everything. So I'm thinking it's my shower gel. So I done went to the store and bought some new shower gel. I'm putting ointment and stuff on my neck, thinking that, I done broke out into a rash because of it.
You made a doctor's appointment and everything.
I did everything but a doctor's appointment. Yes, I did call my mama, though.
You had to call Mama Russ and be like, I don't know what this is. It's crawling around my neck. Oh my God, I'm about to die. Did little Russ get the call too?
No, I ain't tell little Russ.
Okay.
I ain't tell. But man, it just took me a few days to kind of figure it out that it was actually sunburn, man.
God.
I'm just like, not even 45 minutes.
Did you get the blisters though?
I didn't get the blisters.
Okay. Right.
I got a little peeling.
Yeah.
And, it would itch. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night, neck just itching.
Yeah.
It was
feel like you got something.
Yeah. I'm thinking like there's bugs in the bed and stuff. I'm like, what the heck is biting me? I'm itching so bad. So when I finally figured it out, got the aloe vera gel and put on there, and it healed up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't know, when I saw you last week, I was scratching my neck pretty much.
I saw you. I thought you was just hot with that the shirt that was
Yeah.
snapped all the way up to the top. So I was like,
No.
okay, this is why I didn't wear a collar.
Yeah, man. Nah, it was that was sunburn on my neck. That was bothering me.
Well, all things have a reason. Look at here. I'll try to tell you. That's horrible. But it's funny because me and Mrs. Les, we've been kissed by the same sun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got some crunchiness on us. And I'm gonna tell you, I ain't never seen nobody hitting no blisters like her.
Oh no.
Yes, sir. So I don't hear none of that. I know black people don't blister, none of that. My wife is fully melanated.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
I'm fully melanated.
Mm-hmm.
But she got the blisters. I'm out fishing down in South Carolina a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
And she was feeling herself. We had a good time. She just bought, got her new Coach purse and all this other stuff. She the only person out there on the pier with me. She had on a straw hat, a big one. But she had that Coach purse with her. I got pictures to prove it. So she's sitting up there all perched up with her little razorback strap, tank top on and everything.
Right.
Boy, I was putting aloe vera on that back, boy, because them blisters was popping up on the back. And she's like, "Oh my God, I can't." I was like, "Who told you to go sit there in the sun?" First of all, I didn't think it would happen.
Right.
I was like you. I was a non-believer up until that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Holy crap, we do blister. We do get sunburn." And ever since then, can't get her to go sit out on the pier with me no more fishing. Now she sit up in there and drink alcohol and watch me from a mile away. Texting me, "You ready to go yet?"
Yeah.
"I'm getting bored in here. I've had 17 drinks." I calling her a drunk, but that was like 15 of them was water. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. I was about to tell Mrs. Les that she need to listen to our alcoholism episode. Right. And she might need to go into the archives.
Right. I said, I didn't lie. I just said there was 17 drinks. I didn't say what kind of drinks it was. But 15 of them I got to look out for. 15 of them was water. Maybe 14.
All right. We can live with that, Mrs. Les. I was about to tell you to go to the manspacepodcast.com and check out the archives for the alcoholism episode.
Alcoholism is real.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, Les,
yes, sir.
I need to apologize to you.
To me?
Yes.
Okay.
Les,
I accept.
I'm publicly apologizing to you in front of the Manspace Nation. And Little Russ, I am publicly apologizing to you in front of the Manspace Nation.
Oh, what happened? What transpired?
I fell down the steps.
Wait a minute. What grown man fall down the steps? Oh, so you took a tumble, I see.
I didn't go far. I caught myself.
Okay.
I didn't go all the way down. But I happened to do this at work.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, not even in the comfort of your own home.
Not even in the comfort of my own home. Oh, I did it at work. And the front steps of the building, right in front of security. So they got it on camera.
It's on camera.
It's on camera. All the security guards looking at me like, "You all right?"
It's going to be on TikTok.
I come walking into the building today, the security guard just giggling. I'm like,
That's
like, why you laughing?
Look
I
at that
hear
Sasquatch. He about to fall down the steps again. Look at Sasquatch.
I hear off in the corner when I come through the door. They're like, "Why you laughing at him?" And he just coming in the door.
Yeah.
And he know.
Yeah.
So I apologize to Les and Little Russ for laughing at you guys while we were having our talks about you guys falling down and up the stairs.
You had tears in your eyes.
Yes, I did.
You had tears coming down your cheeks.
Yes, I did.
Laughing at me and Lil Russ.
Yes, and karma got us.
Didn't get us, he got you. See, we did our thing already.
Boy, I'm like, had my neck hurting, my head was hurting, my back was hurting.
All you could think about was, I got to go over. I got to publicly.
I'm like scanning YouTube, Twitter.
Apologize this stuff.
I'm scanning everything possible to make sure I didn't show up on some sort of social media. Look at this fool falling down the steps.
Man, I bet not ever see it.
I didn't make it all the way down. I caught myself after a couple.
Yeah. But you slid.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the gang. We all appreciate that.
Yes. Yes.
Now I'm just going to go. You know what that means? Yeah, we were walking down the steps and yep, that was it. Oh, that's hilarious. But yes. I accept your apology, my brother.
Thank you.
Karma is you know what they call her.
Yes. Karma is, and I don't like karma.
No, karma is not friendly.
She's not friendly at all.
She's funny sometimes, though. She's funny. There you go.
Looking back at that footage, we weren't expecting that footage ever to make air. That was just going to be audio only at the time. So we've matured a lot since then. And you can tell by the gray hairs that I have now that I didn't have back then. So we will be back with part 2 of our interview with esteemed dermatologist, Dr. Jeffrey Scales, right after the break.
Blood flow, the muscles move, it circulates the blood through the body better. It helps to nourish the skin a little better. Getting outside is a good thing. You heard me talk earlier about people burning themselves up in the sun, but you need sun to create vitamin D. Vitamin D is important for your bone health. It's good for your mood. It helps keep your calcium levels regulated. So the sun is a necessary thing to keep us alive. So getting out, getting some fresh air, getting some sun, moving around, eating a healthy diet, those are all things that are going to benefit not just your skin, but your body in general, your heart, your lungs, all sorts of things, your brain, your mood. So those are things that are important. Try to avoid things like smoking. Smoking is something that is still popular among people in the United States. It's interesting. And I think these statistics still are the same. Do you know that every year, approximately 400,000 people die from smoking-related diseases?
Wow.
That's a lot of people. But we don't talk about it very much, We don't talk about it very much. But I say that because you smoke and you talk about people's lungs, but it affects many different parts of the body. It can affect your heart. It can affect your lungs. It can cause you to have cancer in all sorts of areas. Wow. It decreases blood flow to different parts of the body, particularly the skin. It causes you to wrinkle faster, causes you to age faster in terms of your skin. So those are important things. So These are very general recommendations that I think all of us know, but they have a great benefit towards not just your skin, but other things as well.
Wow. And so along those lines, because we time always goes forward. Time is undefeated. We're all getting
Mhm.
older, and one of the things that I've heard about aging is that our skin tends to lose its elasticity over time. What are some of the best practices that we can do to continue to keep a youthful looking skin outside of doing, the Botoxes and, it's people doing all these plastic surgeries? In your recommendation, what would you say?
Well, the number one thing for people is something I mentioned earlier, which is sunscreen. There's
Hmm.
sunscreen that you use like you go to the beach, and that's what we spend most of our time talking about. But most of your sun you get in the years. You walking back and forth the car, well, working in the yard, things like that don't require you to have to wear that really heavyweight sunscreen. There are day-to-day sunscreens you can wear, particularly for your face, that you put on, and they can moisturize your skin and reflect the sun as well. So number one, that would be it. The second thing is the use of maybe some type of topical vitamin A cream. We call them retinoids, but they are wonderful anti-aging cream that you can put on that can help plump the collagen and help with the elasticity. You said it right.
Hmm.
If you look at baby skin and young people have this just amazing skin, you think, oh,
Yeah.
those kids just have it figured out. But you look at older people, as like myself and others, as you get older, the elasticity of the skin changes, the look of it changes. It's part of the natural process. It's a natural process that's supposed to happen. I think what we've done in terms of the way we think about aging, particularly here in the United States, is that it's something to be feared or avoided, or it's something unnatural. I see these articles sometimes that talk about, can we defeat aging? It's like saying, can we defeat death? No, we're all going to die. We're all going to age. You either age or you stop aging, one of the two.
Right.
And it's, can you look your best at the particular age you are? I think
Right.
that's part of what I think your question was. Those are the two best things I can recommend for those things. Yes, people do choose sometimes to have interventions like Botox and fillers and these things in an effort to make them feel better about how they appear at this particular point in life. I think when I was a much younger man in my 20s and walking around, got my 8-pack and everything, and looking all, young and strong, that you think that you're always going to be like that. And you get used to seeing yourself like that. I don't know if you ever look at some of your old pictures, but you go back and look like, you graduate in college, you're like, man, look how young I look. And we sort of think that we're going to be stuck like that in time, but we're going to age. And that really has, one of the things I've noticed, that it really affects people's self-esteem a lot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think
Yeah.
people are doing this just because they want to appeal to the opposite sex. And that's part of it. But a lot of it has to do with, how do you feel about
About
yourself
yourself.
when you look at yourself
Right.
in the mirror?
Mhm.
And so these things are interventions that, for people who have money, maybe it's not so much, and maybe not everyone understands them. But when people are confident and they walk around feeling better about themselves, they
Hmm.
have healthier lives. They feel better about themselves. They treat people better. They sleep better. They feel all sorts of things. And it wasn't something I understood when I was a younger man. I look at my kids. I look at my daughter. She's 23. She's like a little model. She's like size 0, and she's beautiful young woman, and she has a nice boyfriend and a good life. And I said to her, honey, so one of the things I think, if I were to have somebody look back, if I could have my older self look back to my younger self, one of the things I would say is, enjoy and appreciate what you have as a younger person. You think it's always going to be that way. You're not
Right.
always going to fit in those jeans. You're not always going to have that hair.
Yeah.
Big puff hair. I said, honey, you better wear that and enjoy it and flaunt it. And like, look, I'm $1 million. Walk around and
Okay.
enjoy it and appreciate what you have, because these changes are normal and you'll miss them. You're
Yeah.
older a lot longer than you are young.
Yeah.
Get about 35, 40, things have changed. You might get another, you got another 40 years maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have 45 years of looking older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
35
Yeah.
are looking younger, and even at 30, you're starting to change a bit. So,
Mhm.
So we're running very long. Do you have time to stick with us a little bit longer?
I can
Because
stick
we
with them, sure. Yes.
thank you so much. Because we definitely got some more questions for you. Because this is interesting. This is so interesting. Because this is stuff that, for like you mentioned earlier, we weren't taught a lot of these things.
Yeah.
I've never once sat down with my parents and talked about any type of skincare routine. I don't think I was probably in my mid-20s when somebody actually talked about not just lotion, but the type of lotion that you put on your
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah.
It's like for us, it was grab some Vaseline
That's
and
yeah.
rub it on, yeah, and go on. But it's like
No.
now it's like, no, you don't use Vaseline on your skin because of
Mhm. Clogs
all
your
the different,
pores.
Yep.
right,
Yeah.
all
Right.
the other different
The
ingredients in
petroleum
it.
product.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Mhm.
there's so much uh that that uh that we just don't know. And this
Yeah.
conversation is enlightening for me because I'm
Yeah.
just sitting here like, man, I didn't know these things. And I'm really intrigued. That's why I said I was really excited to have you on the show.
Mhm.
When when I first read about you a few weeks ago, I'm like, yes, this is the guy I want on the show. I need to have this interview because I I got questions, and I mean, better late than never, But
and,
I mean,
and what a
and I think,
great place to get them answered.
right, but
See?
it's
Yeah.
not just for me. I mean, I know
It's
that
for
there's
us.
several
Yeah.
people within the Man Space Nation that have these same questions because they're not taught, and or maybe what they're taught is wrong. They're looking at TikTok and Instagram, and
Mhm.
people are saying, well, do this for this type of skin and do this for this type of skin. But we're not taught the right information. So we definitely thank you for being there with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
It's fun.
when I was raised up, it was go wash. That was it.
Yeah.
There's some soap and there's a rag.
Soap and
And
a rag.
and
That's it.
and that was it. You wasn't taught nothing about anything else but
No,
go
right.
take a
Well, I
bath.
find it so funny looking at particularly young men. When I was growing up, people didn't tell young men about lotion and about what soap to use and do this.
Yeah.
Now you
Yeah.
have all these old spice commercials and ads and all
Right.
this.
Yeah.
You got dudes on TV flying around. You didn't talk about stuff like when I
No,
remember
you
that.
didn't.
That's
You
not what men
didn't.
do. That's what sort of
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
messages I was getting.
Mhm.
Growing up. So
Yeah.
it's not stuff that you knew or you learned.
Yeah. I
That was
think
it.
that they told me, hey, you just want something that's paraben free. So okay, all right. So that's what I look for. I look for paraben free. But then I still can't pronounce the other ingredients that are in here, but I know that there's no parabens in it. So that's
I don't even know what that is.
It's funny. We are taught certain things like that. You said parabens. Parabens is something that is some kind of preservative, and it helps, or emulsifier. It helps make the product smoother. And there are some people allergic to it. There's some people that aren't. There's a whole lot of other things in there too that the same information applies to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
like
Parabens.
lie. You
Yeah.
got lie on the old school soap.
That's funny.
Scrub with that a little bit too hard. Now, you remember, Russ, in the military, they had that soap that had the I call them scrubbing bubbles in it.
Hmm.
That was rough. You just scrub. I mean, you could scrub the wall and get
Yeah.
marks off the wall with that soap. It
Yes.
was
Yes.
horrible,
It was horrible.
but it was free. It was for me. I
Yeah.
was,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. But there's so many different types of skin types out there. Oily, dry, sensitive, and the list goes on. But how can somebody figure out what is their skin type?
Well, what I tell people is that I think that when we discuss skin types, that is primarily a conversation that advertisers have created. They
Hmm.
want to help to define a way to help you to buy their product. There are certain parts of our body that is always kind of oily, and there's some that's always kind of dry, depending
Right.
on the time of year, what we're doing, these sorts of things. So many times people are talking about their face, particularly ladies, and they're talking about makeup and all these sorts of things and products that you choose to use. There are some brands that I think are appropriate for everybody. It really doesn't matter whether you're oily or dry. All of us are going to be oily when we're young. So that's a perfect example. When your sex hormones are really high, so when your testosterone's up, you're like 18, 20, you walk around, you got acne, you're all strong and everything,
Yeah.
you're going to be oily. I remember touching my face when I was that age. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sick of this oiliness. I'm never going to get rid of this. Well, that's hardly my problem now at 63. So with time, as the testosterone level goes down, a whole bunch of other things change, then certain things change. There are parts that might be dry. If you're somewhere where it's really cold, I always give this example. If I lived in Chicago for a while, everybody's dry in the winter when it's humidity's lower and it's not, very sunny, and you don't have a lot of humidifiers in the air. You're going to be dry, so you have to put moisturizers on. But come summer and it's 90 degrees and really humid, you're going to be sweating. You're not going to be dry during that time of year. So those words are nice words to try to define how you might feel, I guess, at a moment, but it doesn't really mean much. We're all going to experience all those things at some point.
So it's more of a marketing ploy.
It is to help people buy products. The goal is to make you buy as many products as you can. You have to do this and that. And I think, products are necessary. We certainly should get some. You don't have to buy a lot, and you don't have to buy something expensive. They would tell you otherwise, but no, you do. You don't have to have it. You can have really high quality products. They're simple. The marketing is not as great. The packaging is not as great, but it's really not a big difference in terms of the ingredients in some of the most expensive skincare products that they sell in the department stores and what you buy in the drugstore. Big difference in price.
Yeah.
But the cost of the ingredients and what they put in it and all that, really is not much different.
Awesome.
I'll tell you it is, but and maybe there's a little occasional something here and there, but no, it's about the same.
Okay. Well, let's talk about your skincare line, right? It's like,
perfect segue.
What exactly? What inspired you to jump into the skincare business, and what was the driving force behind creating your own products?
Well, I will clarify by saying I didn't create them, but I have chosen among many to put them together. I like to consider myself curating them. It's hard to create your own products. I have worked on some things, and I have put together some things. But what I did is I looked at, as dermatologists, we get exposed, literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different products in our lifetime. I have closets full of all kinds of stuff, and we give out and try things. But what I was trying to do was find some things that I thought would be appropriate for people of different scenarios. So there's a product line we like to carry, which I found in France. And it's really nice. It's good basic cleansers, good for moisturizing, things like that. And really helpful for people with unusually dry and irritable skin. It has this particular mineral water that circulates through the mountains of France for 37 years. I'm very, very happy with it. I've had the opportunity to go to France and actually see where they help to bottle it and things, and that's worked out well. I have a series of other products that include some ingredients that include shea butter as well as other things. And so our goal here of providing the products that we have and our product line is to make sure that there are things available for all the different skin types that we encounter. So some that we think work better for people who happen to be dry at this particular time, some that work better for those who have oily skin or acne-prone skin or really itchy skin. So we have a nice collection of things, both in our private label product line, as well as some other products that we have incorporated to offer to our patients here in the office.
Awesome.
So I'm actually looking at your product line right now. What is Nutrafol? Because I see you have Nutrafol for women, Nutrafol for men. What does Nutrafol actually do?
So Nutrafol is a vitamin complex that includes several ingredients that have had some evidence to support that they can assist with hair growth. So if you ever see these commercials now, they've gotten to be everywhere. They're on the men's shows, they're on the women's shows.
Right.
And what involves is taking 4 tablets a day of these various ingredients to promote the growth of hair where you would like it to grow more. I think it's become very popular. It is very, very popular. We have a hard time keeping it around. People buy it all the time. And it's a great deal of people who have a great deal of confidence in it. I take the men's version. Been pleased with it. I think it helps. But they do have some studies to support that it can really be beneficial for some people who are trying to assist with hair growth. There's countless things for hair growth on the market. I happen to think if you're going to take a vitamin, this is the best vitamin you can take.
Awesome.
That needs to go in your cart, Les. But what is the difference? Because I got into using toners for a while. Sometimes I would use astringents. But what is the difference between using a toner on your skin and an astringent on your skin?
Sure. So both those are things that have a very short-term effect. So what is the point of a toner? A toner is an alcohol, and it can be alcohol, rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, or it can be witch hazel. Essentially, they do the same thing. When you rub it across your face, it removes oil that happens to be on the skin at the moment. It doesn't stop your skin from producing more oil. Your body's supposed to produce that oil. That's necessary. It's the reason these oils are produced is because they have some benefits. They protect against infections and those sorts of things. But if you use astringents and toners, those things just temporarily remove the oil, and the body will continue to create more and will replenish it as time goes on. If you're feeling particularly oily and you just really just tired of feeling oily, you do that. It helps you feel a little bit better, and you're oil free for an hour or two.
So, because I think where I don't know if I was going wrong with it at the time, because I would go and use an astringent, or at the time I'd use a toner, and then I would go back with some sort of heavy moisturizer right over it. And before I would ever leave the house in the morning, before I came downstairs, my face would be soaking wet just from sweating so much. So it was just always a struggle. So I would get away from putting the stuff on my face.
There are some moisturizers made for oilier skin and some made for drier skin. Often it has a lot to do with the water content, how much water is in it. More water in it, it tends to be a little easier for the face and lighter.
Right.
I think everyone needs a gentle cleanser, and everyone needs a moisturizer at some point, not just for your face, but for your body as well. Finding the one that you're prepared to use that can help you is helpful. Everyone doesn't need a moisturizer all the time. You're taught that, oh my goodness, you better put on a moisturizer, you better get toner, you better get these 5 steps. I gave the example of the oily teenager. If you put a moisturizer on top, you're putting moisturizer on top of a layer of oil.
Right.
What benefit is that? The body's already creating its own natural moisturizer. That's what oil is. And so there are times at which you may be dry. You need it, particularly as we get older. We need it more all over the body and sometimes on the face. So it's not a quick and simple answer to say that you must do all these things every day. You choose them based upon what your situation is at that particular time, what time of the year is, what's the weather like. Those are the decisions that you would make.
Wow. And so I'm looking at your microdermabrasion facial scrub. So I've heard that, okay, that's something that you should probably use like once a week. Sometimes I've heard people say, no, you can just use it every day. Is there a recommendation when it comes to actually doing scrubs compared to just a normal face wash? Is that something you should do on a daily basis?
So I would recommend a microdermabrasion facial scrub probably weekly, at most twice a week.
Okay.
What is it? So when you use soap and water, what you're doing is you're causing the soap to come on the skin. It sort of binds onto the oil and dirt and removes it from the skin. The difference with microdermabrasion, and just like you mentioned with that soap you were using in the military, is that it's got little granules in it, and what it's doing is physically shedding the skin faster than it normally sheds. We all shed skin normally, and that's a normal process that's supposed to happen. Sometimes people feel that they need to shed it a little faster. The body naturally already knows how to shed the skin. There are times when things might be a little blocked, or maybe you want to smooth things down a little bit. So using something like that can help smooth things down. I mean, if you use it, you can really tell the difference. When I use one, I can definitely tell I used it. It's nice and smooth. And maybe that's something you do every now and then. It's almost like using sandpaper in a cream form. So I'm not in favor of people doing that a lot. You can burn yourself. You can actually make your skin worse
Wow.
imagine you took some
Okay.
sandpaper and you went around just sanding your face. That would
Yeah.
be too much. And I'm not saying that these creams will do that, but if you use them too much, it's going to feel the same way. So I recommend maybe once a week.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And that's a nice thing to use in the shaving area where we were talking. I mentioned the cosmetic sponge, but you can use the microdermabrasion cream, put a little bit of that on, and you can use that in circular motion once or twice a week. I do that myself to try to keep my ingrown hairs from my shaving to a minimum.
Awesome.
Either one of those will be fine.
All right. Now, Dr. Scales, what advice would you give someone who wants to follow in your footsteps and pursue dermatology? And are there particular skills or qualities that you need to especially have, or that are especially important to have?
The study of dermatology right now is one of the most popular specialties in dermatology in all of medicine. I am surprised at how popular it is. It's become very popular in the general population. Everyone wants to have their skin checked and they want to look good, and it's very focused on the appearance and things like that. I think that if someone were interested in learning, interested in becoming a dermatologist, there's a lot of steps beforehand that are necessary. You know, the training process to get to be a physician can be quite long. So you have 12 years of going to school, high school. You have 4 years of college. You'll have 4 more years of medical school. Then you have another year of an internship. Then you're allowed to train for 3 more years in dermatology. I actually added another 3 because I was a pediatrician as well. So I've spent, good gracious, that's 6 years training after medical school. So one is that you have to have a long perspective of how long it takes you to get there. You can't think about your career in the way that the average person does. I'm in medical school. I'm 24, 25. Got friends that got jobs and vacations and stuff. I'm studying all day. I'm racking up student loan debt, and my life gets delayed in a way that for some people they find it very challenging. My daughter's in medical school. She's gone to the same medical school I am, and she did really well in college. She went to Spelman College. She had a great time in Atlanta and everything. And I said, it's going to be different when you get it. So first year, she's like, oh, Daddy, I'm great. It's so hard. Everyone's out having a good time, and I'm sitting here studying. I said, first, I told you that. That was the first. I warned you. I said, whatever you think you know of what your life is going to look like, watching other people, it doesn't apply to you.
Exactly.
But once you have gone through your difficult times, there was a saying I heard someone say, live like no one else does, so one day you can live like no one else does. You would put your time and effort in the beginning such that later on you have a lot of choice about what it is that you do. I am doing things I want to do as far as what I enjoy. I enjoy this. I get a chance to talk to a lot of fun people. I enjoy things I see. I don't love everything about it. Who loves everything about it? But you have to have a very long perspective. You have to be able to sit through things. You have to be able to take large amounts of that in. But to realize that in the long run, it's going to pay off, and that the way your life looks is different than the way a lot of people's lives look. So, and then you have to do well in a lot of those phases. You need to be a good college student. You need to get into medical school. Get in medical school, you're going to borrow a lot of money and work hard, and you spend most of your days studying over and over and over, hours and hours, in ways that you think people talk about how, college is so hard. That's you. College is nothing compared to what you do in medical school, which is really, one phase. The next step is going and training and working with patients and taking care of sick people, and watching things that people don't always get to see, and to help people in ways that they're not going to get to see. You get to be with people in some of their most vulnerable moments, and they tell you things that they would never tell you otherwise, and show you things they would never show you otherwise. It's a real privilege to be able to try to help in that regard. So you have to think about why you're doing it and what you want to do. For a lot of people, it's all about business. Hey, I want to be a famous Instagram star doctor who,
of course,
makes people look beautiful. And that's fine. That's great to do that. But it's more than that.
Yeah. So many people want the end results without the steps that go along to get you to the end results.
You hit it right on the head. And when you're there I guess it's like when you gentlemen were in the military, you're out there boot camp, or you're doing all that hard stuff or whatever. I mean, that's hard. That's brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like that training to be a physician, but it does mean that you cannot think of yourself in the same way. Hey, I watch grandma and grandpa, they got the gold watch and retired at 65. It's probably not going to be your career.
Right.
It's not going to be like that. You won't even you're going to have your children much older. You're going to maybe get your first house older if you're lucky, or get a car, or get a job that get out of debt older, things like that. So you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah. So for anyone who wants to learn more about you, they want to maybe even come to your facility, they want to follow you online, because our audience is international. So we may have people all over that wants to follow you and learn more as well. How can they do that?
So we have a website, we have a TikTok account, we have Instagram. Now I have these nice young people that do that for me. Like, was I on something? What was I on? Was I on something? What was that you saw me on? Someone says, you're on TikTok. I was? Oh, I didn't know that. So yes, we have, it's nccdermatology.com. That's our website. You can look up the North Carolina Center for Dermatology. You can look up Dr. Scales in Durham, North Carolina. We do a few fun things. I have if you look at the picture, we have a very diverse group of people. I'm the only man that works with 12 other women, from all over the world. It's been fun. I've been having a great time. So, but it's
awesome.
very, very cool, interesting, fun place to work. And you can find us there.
Awesome.
It'd be fun to watch. Yeah. Fun to watch.
Fantastic.
I had to get up there and come and visit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it. Come on up here.
Absolutely.
Great.
I'm going to actually put a link to your product line on our website. So Manspace Nation, if you're interested in some of the products from Dr. Scales, go to our website, go to the shop section, and there'll be a link that will take you over there. And that will be up. And actually, by the time this episode airs, that link will be there. So go to that link and check out the products and find some stuff that will help you out. Dr. Scales, this has been fantastic, very informative, and we definitely appreciate having you on as a guest.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you for taking time to be with us.
Absolutely. All right. We'll be back with more of the Manspace Podcast. Each week, we like to close the show with just a little bit of inspiration. The word of the day is responsibility. Responsibility is the quality of being accountable for one's actions, decisions, and the consequences that may follow. It involves recognizing and accepting the duties, tasks, and obligations that may come with a particular role or situation, whether it's personal or professional. Let's take this a little further. You see, responsibility isn't just about doing what's required. It's about going beyond expectations, our own actions, our choices, and the impact that we have on others. You see, true responsibility is about showing up with integrity even when no one is watching. That was so good, I'm going to say it again. True responsibility is about showing up with integrity even when no one is watching. It is a commitment to ourselves and the world to be the best versions of who we are, to lead with a purpose and live in a way that lifts others. Remember, each one of us has a responsibility. And that responsibility is the foundation on which we build trust, create change, and leave a lasting legacy. It's simple, Manspace Nation. Responsibility is what transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. Until next time, Manspace Nation, keep shining. So are you going to accept your responsibility, Les?
Depends on which one it is. I'll accept my accountability, even when nobody's watching.
There you go.
There you
At least you heard something from it. At least you took a nugget, a little nugget.
That's a golden nugget right there. But it's true. You got to take accountability for yourself. Even when nobody's paying attention to what you're doing, you should be paying attention to what you're doing.
That's right.
And that's what matters.
That's right. That's how champions are born, man. It's doing the little things when nobody else is watching.
That's it. Hoorah, baby.
That's it. So on that note, don't even say it, Les. Don't even say it.
Don't say it.
Don't say it. Not yet. But we got to thank our special guest, Dr. Jeffrey Scales, for joining us today. Fantastic information. All of the information will be on the website, links to the products, and we'll have information on how you can get to his website as well on our site. So now you can say it, Les. On that note,
we out of here.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Man Space.
Whichever platform you listen to us on, make sure you subscribe and don't miss a show.
Remember to keep up with all the Man Space updates on our website, themanspacepodcast.com.
And you can follow us on Instagram at manspacenat1.
Until next time, Man Space Nation, he's Les, I am Russ, and we are out of here.
Welcome to the gang.